This video is sponsored by nobody. So, this is very, very important you understand this with Dogecoin. What happens next? So hi everyone, welcome to the channel. If you're new, subscribe, hit the bell button, leave a like and a comment. Obviously, I appreciate everyone. We've got over 50,000 very, very nicely. Did alright. But I want to talk about why Dogecoin is a catalyst for the next coming months. This is always happening. We're going to talk about it. The amber light for a green light for the next parabolic season, in my opinion. Money flows out of Dogecoin into altcoins all the time. So let's look at it. Price reveal. Whoa. Crazy. So I did a video on this in the 3rd of February, right? We'll go over that video in terms of where I expected it to go. This was before the previous pump as well, when it kind of rocketed. And now we're on the second pump, right? Every single time, as I say, Dogecoin goes, it tends to flow into altcoins. So Bitcoin tends to get a pump as well because people take profit into Bitcoin and then it goes into altcoins. It's pretty crazy how it works. But currently ranked 33.6 billion, which is crazy. And I will talk about in terms of drawbacks of it. But in terms of if you don't know what this is Dogecoin. Hello, welcome to cryptocurrency. In my opinion, a very, very true cryptocurrency in terms of how it is. It's a meme coin at the end of the day. Peer-to-peer digital currency designed for payments. That is it. Simple. Has a few drawbacks for in terms of store of value. Let's just put it that way. So in terms of the Explorer, it's getting relatively large now. In terms of the blockchain, it's relatively old. It's an old Gen 1 blockchain, so it's not the quickest in the world, but it's more efficient and more effective than Bitcoin in transactions, which is why it's an internet currency, which is why it's kind of very, very popular as well at the moment. Now, in terms of the drawdown, obviously I want to talk about Reddit in terms of why not. But if you don't know this, it has an infinite supply, an unlimited supply. So it kind of removes the element of store of value. It's like Ethereum. When Ethereum has a cap on its supply and it does burning, it's going to make it more like money. Better proposition for anyone, right? With Dogecoin, it has an unlimited supply, so it will carry on getting bigger. If that demand doesn't match the supply and the difference, it will drop in price. And it always happens with Dogecoin. History tells us that, and I'm going to go through that history in a minute, which is kind of why it's important in terms of why we need to remember, if you're an investor, don't back this for long term. That's my only thing I want to say here. Now, this could be a meme, but if you, smacking my microphone. If you are looking to make money, this is the kind of coin that does do it, right? It's one of those ones that is really good frequency trading in terms of the blast offs. It's crazy pumps. But don't get caught on the dump. Do not buy tops. And I'm hoping if you're new to the space, chances are you've probably found it because of Dogecoin. Welcome to cryptocurrency. Your entry level situation is kind of sometimes Dogecoin. Sometimes XRP, sometimes it's other things as well. It's just one of those things, right? But the element that we've got is the supply is going to get bigger and bigger, as it says in this post. I just picked one out. This is kind of echoed quite a lot in this post. If the supply gets bigger and bigger and there's no demand, the price will fall, right? It's just one of those things. It's designed basically to just send cryptocurrency around. That's all it is. So going back in time, my old video, I had a little bit more of a beard back then. I was probably a little bit chunkier as well. I don't know. But I was saying, this was before the pump. I would say, look at this level, 93 Stoics. Even though it's below that, I was saying that we could have maybe even hit 58, but obviously the dominance chart of Bitcoin was dropping. So Bitcoin kind of just chilled out a little bit, so it didn't really happen. But overall, it did retrace a big chunk. Actually, not too long after this video, it went for another run. And then it retraced, and I think it retraced lower than this point, I believe. We'll have a little look at the chart. So I was saying 93 sats wasn't a bad place to be, but I was saying in this video, a lot of people are aping in here. And I know people are going to comment, well, if you held on, you would be fine because we're higher than that. But it's not the point at the end of the day. If you don't want to be sat with like 70% less holdings, and it happened. I run a Facebook group. There's a lot of new people in it. A lot of people wanted to talk about Dogecoin. A lot of people were in tears because they caught the wrong end of the pump. So just be careful, please. Right, so this is it. If I zoom out, educated guess would indicate, for me, bit of experience. I've only been here a couple of minutes. I wouldn't buy that because it's a bit toppy. And I know people think differently. If you're a new investor, you have no fear, right? I often describe new investors in any market as like a child, right? Remember when you're a kid? You're indestructible, right? Oh, fire, I'm going to throw myself into it. Oh, there's a bridge, I'm going to chuck myself off it. You have that kind of sense of indestructible nature as a kid. It's like a new investor. It's only up 400% in the last 24 hours, I'm going to buy it. I just don't get it, right? So just the more you're in the game, the more time in the market, the more you kind of understand things, right? So let's talk about this. As I say, history. We're going to go to the log scale and we're going to go into like the weekly time frame. And I'm going to try, if I can, look at the past because it's kind of getting a bit hard. We'll go as far back as we can, right? We got limited data on Binance Chat, but if I go back in time, it's very, very similar, right? Actually, no. For the purpose of this exercise, before people go and whinge at me, what is Bing Bong? What is that? Anyway, moving on. Let's go to Bittrex. Yeah, here we go, my friend. It has history of this behavior, right? And that is all I'm going to say. Apologies if I'm teaching you to suck eggs. But Dogecoin, throughout its history, does zoom, boom every time because the supply increases every time. But this is where we get excited about alt seasons carrying on progressive growth in altcoins because profit goes out of this into altcoins traditionally, right? So when we're looking at the history, all these basically pump and dumps, right? Sorry if you're a lover of Dogecoin, but this is crazy. Look at that, right? That was my last chart, okay? And I remember having it on, which was kind of nice. In terms of that, my video I released was on this level in and around this week time, 3rd of February. We pumped a little bit higher. We then dropped. We found a level of consolidation on this level and then pop. So if you were watching that video and I was telling you, maybe look at this area, might be not a bad place to be, it kind of happened. Yes, I did say it may well go around this level as well, but that was another fib level, dollar cost averaging. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't, as long as you've got some orders in. But that's the BTC side of it. In terms of the USD side, I'm not quite sure if I actually left my stuff on here. If I go to the Bittrex chart, let's have a little look. I don't know. Have I just went to the wrong chart? I don't know. We'll just wait for that to load. But the fundamentals are clear. Yeah. So this didn't even hit the level in terms of the USD because Bitcoin was still quite rampant and wasn't massively dominant versus everything else, but it was still going up, right? So either way, it's grown very, very nicely. So congratulations. But please, guys, I'm being deadly, deadly serious here. If you've not taken anything off the table and you've been buying at these really low levels and you are up multiple X's, please evaluate your position because if this comes down, you're going to feel it hard. It will dump. But in terms of history, right, as I alluded to before on that previous chart, right, it has this history of doing things. Now, if we look at the likes of February time on a lot of coins, it was quite aggressive for a lot of things, right? Not just Dogecoin, everything was going up. Now, when we start looking at the likes of the total 2 chart and the dominant chart, we'll look at dominant chart first. February was this period here. From this point, well, that's a weekly time frame. So this consolidation spike here, in and around this region for like 6 weeks, it was kind of like a bit nothing. But what was happening over time was actually the total 2 chart was still progressively growing. And what was happening in this period, it had quite a big upward shift. So we actually grew quite a lot of money in terms of, if we're looking from that video when, we'll go a few weeks before, like when Dogecoin mania was happening and all this kind of GameStop malarkey was happening, right? In terms of this point here to this level, we grew quite a lot. We actually had over 434 billion go into the market in that small period alone. Another murder, apologies. So when we start to talk about that, it seems to happen every single time that Dogecoin goes for a run. It's that underlying meme that Dogecoin's gone for it. It's a start. It's it. The engines are starting to go now. It's that amber light, in my opinion, where it starts to get interest in the market. Even the total 2 chart of everything going up at the same time with Bitcoin, it was still doing its magic. So if we're looking at, say, from this point here, it was literally from that week, give or take, to that point. Crazy. Like $1 trillion in the market in a matter of like 5 candles. That's 5 weeks. Crazy. So what's going to happen next? Well, I'm going to put it to you guys here. I think that is a bigger surge on Dogecoin and the profits bill might be bigger. I'm just going to put it out there. I don't think this market is cooked yet. Some people say it is. Dogecoin's still rising right now. People are probably buying it up. FOMO is a massive thing. But remember, where do profits go? If you're looking at Dogecoin and it has made, I think, 400, 500% in a matter of a week, give or take. Let me just verify that fact. Just go there. Yeah. So 320, that's in USD price. So BTC price is good as well. So if money spills out of that, it's going to be pretty much savage for altcoins, in my opinion. I think it's going to go up. But yeah, today's video is done. Hope you enjoy. And again, as I said, live life, enjoy it, take profits, enjoy, whee, boom.